Afternoon and welcome to the Quick Picks show on bookmakers.com TV. As you already know, aware, no Dean Ryan this week, so you've got myself, Darren Hughes, in the host chair, and I am delighted, as ever, to be joined by Charlie Mullen, Cian Kirby, and Mark Fordham. Look, as always, we're all going to have 4 picks on the panel here, ranging from the world's premier golf tour, a couple of soccer bets, and a couple of tips stateside from our friends at RotoWire. And then to finish off, even a host banker from Ascot this weekend. We're going to be hoping to match last week's success, leaving aside Cian Kirby's non-runner in the Persian Moor novice hurdle. We went 5 for 5 with our American friends, creating a knacker that paid an incredible 102 to 1, or plus 10,200 for our stateside cousins. Can those halcyon days be seen again this week? Let's see. Starting with our Quick Pick show mainstay, Charlie Mullen, who is taking us to the romantic surrounds of the Eternal City for his pick this week. Charlie, what have you got?
Yeah, no pressure after last week, Darren. Serie A, Stadio Olimpico. Should be a good clash between third place Lazio and fourth place Udinese. The bet I'm going for in this is for Lazio to win and over 2.5 total goals. Lazio go into the game having won their last 4 league games, and Udinese are currently unbeaten in their last 8 in the league. Lazio have the second best attack in the league with 21 goals scored, and they also have the joint best defence with just 5 goals conceded. 5 of Lazio's last 6 wins in Serie A, over 2.5 total goals has landed. In fact, their last 3 league games, they've won 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. And with scores like that, you could expect them to be playing in the T20 World Cup, which is starting this weekend. But I digress. Serie A, yeah. Lazio to win over 2.5 total goals. And the odds for that, Darren, are 9 to 4 and plus 225.
Lovely stuff there from Charlie, as always, and fingers crossed he can continue his good run of form. We're sticking with the old soccer ball, though we're taken to the rather less romantic location of Wolverhampton in the West Midlands of England here. Mark Fordham has assured us that he's come up with the goods, so take it away there, Mark.
Thanks, Darren. I'm not entirely sure we're going to have quite an exciting game as Charlie was just suggesting in Italy. It's not often that I'd be tipping a draw with its inherent risk, but I think that Saturday seems probably too good an opportunity to miss. We're heading to Mullen, where Wolves will be hosting Nottingham Forest in the Premier League at 3 p.m. UK time on Saturday. The one thing we probably shouldn't expect when these two teams meet is goals. Between them, they've combined for 10 goals in 18 games played this season. Forest have scored 1 goal from their 4 away games, and Wolves have scored just 2 in front of their own fans in 4 games this season. The inherent risk of the bet comes from the fact that both Wolves and Forest have combined to lose 11 of their 18 games so far. Forest stopped a run of 5 defeats in a row on Monday with a 1-1 draw against fellow strugglers Aston Villa. Wolves haven't scored in the last 3 games, all defeats. But perhaps a change in manager could change their fortunes slightly, or at least that's what I'm banking on. This is absolutely a punt on the draw, but a double of a draw and under 2.5 total goals looks great value at 4 to 1 or plus 400, depending on where you're betting from.
Lovely, nice, spicy selection there from Mark Fordham. Didn't expect that from Wolverhampton versus Nottingham Forest game. So let's hope the plus 400 or 4 to 1 bet there can land. Let's go stateside over to our friends Alan Seslowski and Jim Coventry at RotoWire, who are no doubt going to come up with the goods from this week's American sporting action.
I'm taking the Buffalo Bills to score more than their 27.5 individual team total against the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, we don't need to tell you that the Buffalo Bills are a juggernaut on offense, but they failed to reach that 27.5 points on 2 occasions. First, in the scorching heat and humidity in Miami, and then against the Ravens when they played the game in a terrible storm. They will face a Chiefs defense that started off the season with an easy schedule. But in their last 2 games, they gave up 31 points to the Bucs. They gave up 30 points to the Raiders. The Bills are on a mission. This is the team they need to go through. Just remember last year's playoff game. This team is going for the throat offensively. They are going to sail past 35 points and an easy cover on that number.
Great stuff there, lads. Thank you very much, as always. Now, after a non-runner in last week's show, Cian Kirby was determined to come up with a selection that would actually show up come hell or high water this week. And where better to go for such a tip than Jeddah for the latest leg of the LIV Golf Tour. Cian, your winner this week is?
Thanks, Darren. Obviously, tipping golf this week, so hopefully no non-runners. The LIV Golf takes place in Saudi Arabia on Friday. play gets underway at 10:15 in the morning, UK and Irish time. And I've gone with Dustin Johnson to get his second live win here. In his last 5 live events, he's finished 6th, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, and 16th last week. He absolutely loves playing desert tracks in Saudi Arabia. His course form here, he's played the course 4 times. He's finished 1st, 2nd, 1st, and 8th on all 4 of his appearances here. Past bottoms greens will really suit him, and the generous fairways will be tailor-made for his long hitting and good wedge play. Himself and Cameron Smith are cut above any of the live golf players at the moment, and they're both trading at around the same price of 5-1 or plus 500. So at those odds, Dustin Johnson looks like a great bet, and you can also back him each way with 5 places. So if he doesn't win and he comes in the top 5, you get your money back. So yeah, Dustin Johnson to get his second live golf tour win this week in Saudi Arabia for me.
Nice confident selection there from Cian Kirby, and a bet that should last you the whole weekend, which is always what we want, a weekend's entertainment. So best of luck with that one, Cian. Fingers crossed. Lastly, in the absence of Dean Ryan this week, we have the host banker from myself, Darren Hughes, and I am going to pick Baaeed to win the Champion Stakes in Ascot this Saturday at 4 p.m. at odds of 1-3 or minus 300. It isn't every weekend that the world's best racehorse runs, and it certainly isn't every weekend that he runs at a working man's price. Baaeed wins this with his mouth open. His nearest rival in the betting now is too slow at this trip, and I'd expect him to suffer a dip, maybe having missed so much time before his comeback in September. Bay Bridge is a horse I actually do like, but he's been off since with a pull muscle, I beg your pardon, since July. And I again think you'll find the world's best racehorse too hot to handle here. Baaeed has been off himself since winning the Juddmonte at the end of August, and I'd expect him to come here fresh and ready to have a successful swan song and end his career in a blaze of glory. So that is Baaeed to win the Champion Stakes at Ascot on Saturday at 4 o'clock at odds of 1-3 or minus 300. And with that, we'll end this week's show. Thank you very much to my guests, Charlie, Cian and Mark, and to Jim and Alan stateside. Be sure and keep track of this week's bets and let us know how we got on, and we'll be back next week as always with some fresh selections for you to punt over the weekend. Thank you.